and welcome to another edition of Leadership of the Leaf Sidebar Edition.
Oh, I love sidebars.
I love sidebars. My name's Austin.
And I'm Dice.
And Dice, what are you smoking for this sidebar? Because, we get to talking about things, and sometimes we just get off track.
Okay, this is going to be a kind of a read for you. So, I've smoked this before, but I am more in tune and knowledge of it now. It's
that's good.
Blackened Cigar M81 by Drew Estate. It was a passion project between Jonathan Drew, who is the founder of Drew Estate, James Hetfield from Metallica co-founder, to Rob Dietrich, who is the master distiller and blender of blackened American whiskey. It's a collaboration between all three of them, who frequently enjoy drinking and smoking together.
Well, I can't say that's a bad thing.
And of course, I'm pairing it with Hennessy.
What? Hennessy?
Neat, my friend, neat.
Hennessy. Oh, I swear. All right, fair enough.
And you, my friend?
I am smoking an Undercrowned Maduro. And it's delicious. It's one of my favorite. I love these. So, I am pairing that though with a Old Dominick Distillery Hulling Station. This is a new one. I talked about it in another episode, and it is a straight wheat whiskey. So it's good. It's got a nice light flavor, but I'm enjoying it. I'm thoroughly enjoying this whiskey.
That's perfect. That sounds like a good pair.
It is. It's a very good pair. All right. So sidebar edition. This is where we talk about, things going on in the tobacco industry and just kind of anything we really want to. But first, before we get really going on what I want to talk to you about, I got to know, have you heard about this new tobacco law coming out of California?
I did, and it's similar to the same law New Zealand is actually passing. So I'm wondering if it's a piggyback off of what they're deciding.
My guess is yes.
Please inform us, sir.
All right. So this new tobacco law. So this is as of February 23rd of 2023. California lawmakers want to eventually ban all tobacco sales in the nation's most populous state. They filed legislation to make it illegal to sell tobacco or cigarettes and other products, but tobacco basically, to anyone born after January 1st, 2007. So that if it's signed into law, that would mean by 2073, anybody who wanted to buy cigarettes or tobacco would have to show ID to prove they're at least 67 years old.
And just looking at that face value, I know a lot of listeners like, well, hell, I was born in 1980. I was born in 1990. That doesn't affect me. What I want people to realize is if they're putting this kind of limit on tobacco at a certain age limit of 2007, that's going to be catastrophic for a widespread of all the other states in the United States, as well as pigeonholing a stronghold on the tobacco industry itself.
Right. Like I said, this is the most populous state in the United States. Now, obviously, I don't think the tobacco industry is going to just lie down and take this. I think they're going to fight it. They've already got a different new law in tobacco that are now saying that any tobacco cannot be flavored. That includes menthol cigarettes. This was I want to say just a broad stroke ban, but it kind of was. This is basically saying, hey, if you sell any sort of flavored tobacco products, grape, strawberry, watermelon, bubblegum flavored vape products, and then anything from that to menthol cigarettes, you're now banned in California. Now the law that is prohibiting sales to anybody who is born after January 1st, 2007, that has not been signed into law, but the flavored tobacco ban has been signed into law.
If that gets signed into law, it's almost an open door of no limit to what kind of laws they can put on the tobacco industry. It's almost a gateway law, and I absolutely hate it. I wish it never got tabled. I will research, and we will put some links into our description for you to sign up to stop it. If you're in California, I would definitely write your congressman, write whoever you can to try to get this from going through. It's baffling to me because of how open the industry is actually being towards the marijuana sales, but they actually are trying to close the door on tobacco sales.
Right, and you know, tobacco gets a bad rep, right? You know, cigarettes they paint a broad stroke of the tobacco industry based on cigarettes, and I agree, cigarettes are bad. You know, I mean, they have a lot of extra additives, everything else. That's different from premium hand-rolled tobacco like cigars. That's just different. So, you know, I would say if you live in California, write your lawmaker, write your state senator, write your state house representative, and start talking to them and open up that conversation and say, hey, I don't think we should be doing this.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't go without saying something, especially if you're sitting back saying this is not going to affect me. Maybe in the short term, it's not, because you're just looking at your age, but in the long term, it is going to eventually affect everyone as a whole, especially if you are a brother or sister of the league. It's definitely something you want to make sure you voice your opinion on.
Yeah, and I mean, you think about, you know, if they can ban it for all people after 2007, what does that mean for taxation on tobacco for anybody born before 2007?
I've heard already that the taxation of the tobacco industry in California is already outrageous.
Right.
In the brick and mortar, I heard someone talking about the World Cup cigar. The World Cup cigar at the brick and mortar I was at was like around $70. Very prestigious. I think it was by Placencia. It's a very well constructed, I did not purchase one. That's way out of my price range. But he was saying how great of a price that was, because that same cigar is $120 in California.
Jeez. So you're talking about a $50 markup in taxes alone.
That's 50 just from the difference of California to Nevada. So I don't know what the MRSP actually is for the cigar, but I do know it's not $120.
Right. Well, and see, and I think I really think a lot of this is what this is going to end up doing is it's just going to, people are just going to either go out of state, you know, they're going to travel across the border to Oregon, Nevada, Utah, you know, those sorts of places, Arizona maybe, and just go, fine, if we don't want to do that, you know, if I want to smoke, I'll just drive over here. And I think a lot of places are going to crop up right there on the border.
Yeah.
And there's going to be tobacco shops right there on the border, and they're going to make an absolute killing. Not to mention the fact that I feel as though to how I almost wonder, now I don't have any figures on this, of how much money tobacco taxation brings in for California.
Well, that man, the black market is going to boom.
Be huge.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. It's like, you want some of these undergrounds? What's up, man? I got some undergrounds for you. and then they're going to put a price on it, which is then going to pull away from the taxes that the state could actually been receiving.
Yeah, well, and then yeah, it's just gonna go. So people are gonna be, oh, you want an Underground? All right, $30. Man, it's a $10 cigar. Yeah, got it. I got it, and you want it. It's now up to $40. And so the individuals are just gonna get, they're just gonna make that money versus the state.
Correct. So again, it's a clear warning. It's a warning shot fired. Hopefully other states don't tag along, but I just don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm not a fan. I guess we'll see kind of what happens. Right? Go to, if you have a tobacco association in the state of California or whatever, go show up at hearings. Go make your voice heard. Do whatever you need to do just to make sure that you fought for this thing to not pass.
I mean, at a minimum, you could at least sign a petition or something.
Right.
Sit down and let this thing pass without having their voice heard.
Exactly. But that is the most recent and I would say biggest news that's happening in the tobacco industry right now is this ban on all tobacco sales if you're born after 2007. But now I really want to get to the TPE was pretty recent, and you got to go.
Yeah, I went to TPE this year. I will say I went there with a different mindset this time than the first time I went. Considering this is our second season of Leadership of the Leaf, I went with more of hey, I want you guys in the cigar industry to now take me seriously. I'm not starting anymore. I got at least a year of this podcasting under our belts. I mention you every single time.
Yeah.
And I would say that great reviews, great people was enjoying it. They like it. They love the concept. They love the idea, just as they did the first time. And a lot of people was very, pro. They really agree. They really like it. I shared the tagline of "Great leaders smoke great cigars," and the faces, they will light up when I say that, because they're like, yeah, that's amazing. And then you talk about leadership, and I was like, yeah, that's what we do, and they loved it. I didn't receive one like, you sure you want to do that? No, everyone was like, yes, please continue, please do what you guys do.
Awesome. That's so good to hear. We love to hear from everybody. So if you guys want us to keep going, want us to support us, or you guys want us to talk about a specific topic, whether it's cigar related, leadership related, something like that, hit us up. Let us know at Leadership of the Leaf on Instagram. There's a link in our bio to our website, to our blog, and everything else. We'd love to hear from you guys. So please let us know what you guys want to hear. We'd love to give you guys what you want. But I gotta know. So TPE. For those that don't know, what is TPE, Dice?
It stands for, it used to be Tobacco Product Expo, but now they have expanded to more vapes, CBD, and all those other like industry where they smoke. So they changed their name to Total Product Expo. Tobacco had a big footprint there, but they did have a lot of the CBD and the oils and the vapes and stuff. I didn't really venture far into that section. I stayed in the cigar section, of course, because that's my field of interest. Right. But I will say I stopped at many of booths. Some booths I didn't stop at because they were overwhelmed, or they just didn't have that friendly approach. I did stop at J.C. Newman, Julius Caesar, Brick House, El Baton.
Right.
And the gentleman there actually took me through a tour of the actual booth where they had slides and stuff set up to the history of J.C. Newman, which is very interesting. One thing I didn't know is J.C. Newman was pretty much the the forefront or the first starter of actually having clean cigars. And then when he said that, I was like, clean cigars? Well, what? He was saying before JC Newman, what they would do with the cigar caps and everything is the workers or the cigar rollers would actually use their own saliva or spit to actually put caps on and to seal the cigars. And I was like, that is absolutely disgusting. I did not know that was a common practice before JC Newman. He did give me the years and the time frame. I'm sorry, I don't remember the years, but they essentially started that. So now you can thank JC Newman for not having spit on your cigar.
Any other spit other than your own.
Correct. Correct. Mundo.
All right. So JC Newman. Who else did you go visit there? Because I know that you didn't just visit JC Newman.
No, I stopped at Blanco Cigars. Blanco Cigars, the guy I was speaking with. I think he's the son. His name is David. He's in the military, so I praised him for that because we always support our military.
Absolutely.
And he was very pleased with our podcast. He actually gave me a cigar called Prince Hall. I need to do some research on Prince Hall. He explained it very briefly, but I don't want to say anything yet. I'll wait till we actually smoke that on air so I can give a synopsis of it. But he was very excited to share that cigar with me. Their booth actually did pretty well this year. I asked if their sales was good, and he said they're exceeded, so that's good.
That's always nice.
Yeah, I've actually met him in the cigar lounge, and he remembered me from then. And I don't want to say we're friends because I don't know him like that, but he remembered me, and we kind of sat down. He actually offered me to sit down in his booth, so it was cool. He was good people's, man. I really appreciate him.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's super awesome. What else?
Okay, so your friend, I say he's your friend, but
I already know who you're talking about.
Mr. Steve Saka himself. I stopped by his booth to talk to him, but he was extremely busy, of course, right?
Of course, it's Steve Saka.
But I seen him walking back to his booth, so I was like, this is my chance to actually talk to him. So I went and talked to him, shook his hand. I thanked him for his time, of course. And I explained to him that we appreciate his cigar. I asked him, why are you so hated in the cigar industry? And he told me, he says, it's because I'm an asshole. They don't want to deal with me. I'm telling them exactly what I'm going to do, and they don't like it. So I'm going to continue to do that. And I was like, Steve, that is exactly why we like you, my friend. Exactly what I want to hear.
Yeah. Hooray for him. I feel like there's a difference between just being an asshole for an asshole's sake, and then there's hey, I'm gonna do this and this is why, and you can't stop me, and people not liking you for doing what you say you're gonna do. I just love the unapologetic aspect of Steve Saka's game. I can't hate on it.
I will say he gave me a bit of the business because I mentioned the podcast to him, and he was like, well, your podcast can't be too well because you never invited me on the show. And I was like, fair enough, sir. Fair enough. You are correct. And he gave me his business card, and I will be reaching out to him, see if we can set something up.
Oh, that would be a dream come true.
I'll get on the calendar. I want to make sure you're available. I'm available. He's available. Once all the stars align, we will have Steve Saka on this show at some point in time.
So awesome. Can't wait for that. I know this is season 2. We're trying to get more people on the show that we can interview. And I really look forward to that aspect of it because Steve Saka, he is a master of his craft, to say the least. He is an old head in the cigar industry, and he knows what he's talking about.
And he tells it like it is. That's what I like. I mean, clear and concise and honest, right? That's what I want to hear.
Yeah. and he gives it to you, whether you like it or not, which is again what I mean. Facts don't care about feelings, but he is one of those people that just he tells you what he's doing, and you can either like it or you can not.
I went by Decedent. I believe you
Okay.
smoked one of their cigars on air last year, I believe.
Probably.
They have a spokesperson. I don't know if you've seen her on Instagram or not. She has lots of tattoos and piercings. Her name is Sin. She is very down to earth, very pleasant, and she actually gave me time and listened to what I had to say, which was very appreciative. And nothing but great things. She did give me a sample of one of her cigars. I tried to get two, but you know, I don't want to sound like I'm begging, so they gave me one. I will smoke that on air, but I was very pleased, and I was able to get a picture with her. It was very nice to meet her. She was very good peoples.
I'm excited. That's awesome to hear about. You these people, either on Instagram or other shows or whatever, and you always wonder what kind of person they are in actuality, and it's so awesome to hear that they're just I'm down to earth, It's so nice to hear.
Let's see. I also stopped by. I always pronounce his name wrong, and I even say I pronounce his cigar name wrong. He kind of chuckled. Vareo.
Vareo.
Yeah. His name is George. He remembered me from last year. He shook my hand, and he appreciated us having his cigar on air. I said we would definitely do it again, and I promised to make sure I tag him in it. He also said that he'll gladly come on air and do an interview with us whenever we're ready. And I told him I took his business card, and I was like, I definitely will be reaching out. His cigars actually have a message behind it. I got the Duck and Sun. He actually gave me a hat for the Duck and Sun cigar, so I'm looking forward to moving forward with that scenario also.
Oh man, that's awesome. It makes me happy. That again, people are so open. The cigar industry is so, I don't know. I feel like it's so friendly, but it's people stand off from the cigar industry, but they're such a friendly folk.
Yeah, it was definitely. I did not feel like I was outcast. I didn't feel like I was just some new guy just trying to walk in and just shake people's hands. People actually recognized me from last year. People actually recognized the actual podcast. They was very willing and accepting. I stopped by. Oh man, I'm gonna forget their name. They're gonna kill me for this. They have the vice versa cigar where you can smoke it either way.
Yeah. You're gonna talk about Toscano, are you?
No, it's like damn. We gotta look it up because I gotta say the name right. Artilio Frillo? Let me look it up. Fratilio. Fratello. Fratello? Okay.
Well, if it's Mexican, it's Frateo.
All right. I also stopped by Frateo Cigars, and I was very curious about their vice versa cigar because it's one of them that you can cut from one end and it'd be mild to medium, or you cut from the other end and it'd be medium to mild. And yeah, you remember that one?
Yep.
I was very curious to how they actually did it so it wouldn't unravel, because if you ever smoke a cigar the wrong way, it tends to unravel.
Yeah.
And he explained that they wrapped it from each end to meet in the middle. And he said you actually can cut the cigar down the middle and enjoy two different cigars if you wanted to.
Interesting.
I don't think we have smoked any of their cigars on air, but I will pick one up. Definitely the vice versa when it's out. It should be coming out sometime later in the month of March. And then we will share our thoughts and ideas about it on air.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be a good one. I'd almost want to get two. One to smoke one way. Actually, I think I want to get three. One to smoke one way, one to smoke the other way, and then one to cut in the middle.
Yeah. I'll probably if I see it, I'll probably pick up a 5-pack if they offer a 5-pack, because
Yeah.
it seems very interesting enough to try.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're gonna smoke 3 of them, what's an extra 2 to sit in your humidor?
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Very interesting stuff. Let's see. I went to Aventura Cigars. Now this was pretty good. Aventura Cigars. I met the rep the first day, and she was very nice. Very, of course, everyone listened to the podcast story, loved it and appreciated it. She gave me some samples. I would definitely share some of the samples with you. But fast forward to the last day, and I went and I wanted to shake her hand and thank her for her time, because I won't see her till probably next year. And she remembered everything about me. She said, "Oh, hey, everybody, here's Dice. He got this podcast. He talked about leadership. He talked about cigars." And then she pointed to the 2 guys she was sitting with at the table. And lo and behold, they were the co-founders of that cigar company. And they were very appreciative. And I explained that I enjoyed their cigar with Hennessy. And the guy said, "Oh, yeah, it's a perfect pairing for Hennessy." Shook their hand. Of course, I got a picture with them. It was amazing. They were very friendly. I loved it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, what about more legacy cigar makers, like Arturo Fuente, Romeo y Julieta?
Oh, Romeo y Julieta. Let me tell you about their booth, my friend.
Oh, please do.
They had like this area set up like it was an old school barber shop. Reason why they had it set up that way, they had a beer where you can get I think it was Blue Moon, or there was a red lager. Sorry, I'm not a beer guy. But it paired perfectly with their barber pole that they're putting out. Romeo y Julieta barber pole. That barber pole I smoked actually on the floor. Wonderful, phenomenal cigar. If I see it and I have the money, it's definitely box worthy just from that one smoke.
Really?
But their booth was set up, like I said, like an old school barbershop. They had a guy there that would shine your shoes. They had a guy there that would cut your hair. And they just had a lounge set up to where you can sit there and enjoy. It was their booth was set up almost immaculate.
Well, I kind of expect nothing less from Romeo y Julieta. So yeah. That's awesome.
Someone was actually getting their haircut. I mean, there was a line. Somebody asked, "How long is the wait?" And the dude said, "I already got 10 people in line in front of you."
Wow.
Getting a haircut while smoking a cigar, homie.
Ain't that the life?
Right?
Ain't that the life? Oh, all right. So let's see. You went to Dunbarton. You got to J.C. Newman, Romeo y Julieta, Dissident, a couple new ones, I would say almost boutique brand. Now, I remember last year there was a Varejo, and then there was a Mexican Puro. There last year.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Tell me that they were there this year.
1910. That cigar, he was there. The actual owner was there. I spoke to him last year, but I didn't know he was the owner. This year, I knew he was the owner because I did a little research for it after smoking it last year, right? This dude, he had a mariachi band playing. I got a little bit of video of it. Maybe I shared on Instagram. But he had a mariachi band playing, and he was filming the whole thing. Once he was done, I had to stop. I shook his hand. I said, "Thank you for everything you've done." I said, "Your story and inspiration of the 1910, because it has to do with the Mexican Revolution." Right. I said, "This is amazing. This is an amazing cigar, and I'm glad you guys are here again this year. And I want, of course, I wish everybody well, and I wish him all the best of luck with everything he had going for him." Very nice guy.
That's awesome, because I remember you smoked that Mexican Puro on air, and it was. You had nothing but praise for that cigar.
Yeah, that is 100%. It was a good cigar. I don't see it readily in the brick and mortars. I want to support brick and mortar, so I don't really want to order offline unless I can order directly from them.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All right. So a couple of repeats. Anybody new this year?
Okay. So I don't know if you remember last year, and you probably heard some chuckles in the industry about this one cigar brand. It's called Drunk Chicken. You remember it?
Yes.
It doesn't matter if you don't. Okay. So I thought it was a gimmick. I thought it was whatever. I went and stopped at their booth. The owner is a African American lady. She is very proud of her cigar. She is slightly upset that she's getting kind of a bad rap in the industry, and she said, "I want people to try the cigar. Don't talk about my cigar unless you smoke the cigar first." So I was like, "That is a very fair statement."
I mean, that's a valid point. That's a valid point.
Very fair. Her cigar is actually named after her chicken farm. She has a chicken farm. And the chicken farm is named Drunk Chicken for the chicken farm. Each of her cigars is named after a different chicken on her farm. It was actually pretty amazing stuff to listen to her talk about it, the passion she put into it. And you know what? I'm going to take all ill will away. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt, and I wish them all the best of luck. She did give me a sample of the cigar. She said, "I'm going to be completely honest with you. We had to roll these quick. Please sit on this cigar for a little bit before you smoke it, because I don't want you to get any formaldehyde or any other of the chemicals. I want you to be able to enjoy it. So promise me you will sit on it before you smoke it." And I said, "I promise you I will. I will let you know before I smoke it on air so you can know what we're going to say, how we're going to say, and everything about it." She did point out that a couple of magazines have already reviewed her cigar and gave it in the 90s. But she said they did it without her knowing, which is fine. But she wants people to actually give it a try before they actually naysay it.
All right. Well, I mean, that's fair. Why would you judge? You can't judge a book by its cover, so don't judge a cigar by its name.
Without smoking it first, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just one of those things. Again, it's courtesy. It's one of those things. I grew up in a small town, and there's always those old guys at the courthouse. Those old guys at the courthouse, man, they had more money than I will ever see in my life. He could buy my car with $20 bills that he got in his pocket, but you never realize it. Like, you wouldn't ever guess that just looking at the guy. It's like, so you can't. I learned that lesson early. You can't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge anybody by their name or their appearance, because you never know. My dad put that to the test frequently. He would go into a nice store. I remember this, not to get off track, but
yeah,
he went into a nice furniture store, and he had just come from woodworking. He was doing some work on the house, and something happened. Had to go to the furniture store, so I went with him. I was a young boy. And he was in, I don't know, cargo shorts, painted cargo shorts, that had just paint stains on them, and he was dirty and dusty. And he walked in, and they kept. He's like, "Oh yeah, I want that one." And the salesperson kept going, "Well, I think you'd be a lot happier if you got this cheaper model." He goes, No, you're not hearing me. I want that one." And he goes, "No, sir, I don't think you hear me." And what people have got to understand, my dad is a commercial loan officer. He deals in millions of dollars worth of loans, and he makes good money, all that sort of stuff. And he goes, no, I want that one. And the guy was like, "No, sir." He goes, "Do you work on commission?" He goes, "Yes, sir." And he goes, "All right, then shut up and sell it to me." And he's like, "Well, I just really think you'd be happier." So after that second time, he goes, "Go get the owner of this place." And he goes, "Sir, I'm right here." He goes, "No. Again, go get the owner of this place. You're not hearing me." The owner came out and knew my dad by name because they had been friends, and he'd worked on several. My dad had worked on several loans with the guy, and the guy goes, "Well, Jay, what seems to be the problem?" And my dad goes, "Your employee won't sell me that model." Da, da, da. And he keeps trying to point me to the cheap one. He goes, "I want that one." And he goes, "I'll ring it up for you right now." He goes, "Cool. Make sure he doesn't get the commission." He's like, "Done." The guy ended up getting fired. We went in a week later, and the guy was fired. But so all that to say, don't judge people by their look. You don't know what their situation is.
100%, sir.
So, anyways, all right, cool. So, Drunk Chicken. Who else was there? I'm sure everybody was there.
Yeah, everybody was there. I didn't really chit chat with many of people. I did rub elbows, but I didn't have conversations with everyone. I did stop by United Cigars. I thanked them from last year, but it wasn't the same guy, so I didn't have that same connection. But the crutch of this whole thing is brought together by the cigars we're smoking right now.
Yeah.
I would say they probably showed me most love out of all of them. Is Drew Estate Cigars. They had their bridge set up the same, not the exact same, but similar to last year. They had people doing caricature pictures, like you do at Disney. Get a character. Yeah. They had people posted around doing that. The DJ, mad love, much love and respect from the DJ. As soon as he saw me, he was like, "My man, Dice, how's it going?" And we slap dap, whatever, salute. He had his wheels are still going. Music was blasting. I met with Matt. He's one of the representatives for the industry. He gave me a couple of packs of cigars. Of course, I'll be sending a couple of packs your way because he gave me some for you too.
I love these people. They don't even know me and they're sending me cigars. Love it.
I met with Tom. I think he's one of the high representatives. He's like, yes, please make sure you talk with Pedro. And Pedro, I talked with last year, very briefly, twice. And it's kind of a funny story. When I met him last year, I spilled my drink. I had a coffee. I spilled my drink a little bit. And he kind of chuckled and whatever. We got past that. So I met him this year. Nothing but love. He remembered me from last year. Shook my hand. Gave me a hug. He was like, I love what you guys are doing. We're doing great things. Jonathan Drew came through real quick. I didn't really get to speak to him, but he shook my hand as well as he was moving. Fast forward to the after party. I met with Pedro. I met with the DJ. I met with Blanco. So I'm chatting with Pedro about the cigar industry and about our podcast. Then Dave from Blanco Cigars came up. We always chit-chatting together like we were old friends. Brother of the Leaf definitely showed its face right there. Because I know they don't know me that well. I don't know how well they know each other, but all three of us was chatting like we just went to the movies last weekend,
No, it's awesome.
It was great. Wonderful.
That's awesome. That's so good to hear.
Fast forward again. I met Jonathan Drew again at the party, the after party. And I was like, Jonathan, hey, what you doing with Drew Estates is wonderful. Got a picture with him. He was like, great, man. I appreciate the love. Now we're going to the last day of the cigar, the TPE. I spoke with Pedro again. He says when we're ready for sponsorship, he gave me his card. He said, reach out to me. I'll get my marketing team to get with you, and we'll see if we can work something out. Just make sure you reach out to me. He says when you're ready, we're ready. So I want to fine tune our craft that we have going on here. And once I feel we're like really in there, I'm gonna reach out, man. There's so many people that gave me their card and reach out. Miguel from I can't remember the cigar, but he reached out. He also said like, let's do this. So many people want to do this. That's what I was looking for. I'm ready for some sponsorship. I'm gonna reach out to these people and hopefully we get some interviews and some sponsors. We're moving forward. I believe our podcast is future is going to have some big things coming.
That's awesome to hear. I'm so sad that I couldn't make it this year. I think what our viewers need to know, I'm ready to share. I had to move this beginning of this year. I just recently moved, and I am no longer located in Northwest Florida in the Panhandle. I'm now located outside of St. Louis on the Illinois side. So I'm settling in here. The family's settling in. So I'm learning who's around and what's around and everything else. So if any of our listeners know of any great cigar lounges in the St. Louis area, east of St. Louis, not East St. Louis, but east of St. Louis, reach out to me at Leadership of the Leaf on Instagram. Let me know, hey, this is where I go smoke. I'd love to hear from you guys. I got to find new haunts to go see. I've been doing some research, trying to find it out. I'm getting, like I said, I'm getting settled, but everything's good. We're loving the area so far. But please reach out to me, let me know. But I'm excited to keep this thing growing, keep the momentum going, and please, if you guys love our podcast, share us, like us, let people know who you're listening to, where you get your leadership information from, where you get your cigar information from, and just keep it going. Help us, help you guys, because we love what we do, and we just want to keep it going.
Yeah, the inspiration that I left from there has been overwhelming. I want to keep moving, positive. Everything is going great. Appreciate all our listeners.
Absolutely.
Appreciate all the feedback we've been getting. So by all means, on this sidebar, I salute to our listeners, man. I mean, this is great.
Yeah, we can't do it without you guys. That being said, if anybody in our areas, at least I know I'll speak for myself. I'll let Dice speak for himself. But if anyone wants to get together, hey, I want to meet up. I want to talk to you guys about what's going on in this area, whatever. By all means, reach out to us. Let us know. I'm happy to come meet with anybody and sit there and talk with anybody and share a cigar, share a drink, whatever the case is. We can't do this without you guys. So by all means, let us know.
All right. I would say this was a good sidebar, sir.
Absolutely. I'm jealous that you got to go to TPE again without me. Unfortunately, like I said, I just moved, so I was unable to go this year. Next year, the goal is for me and Dice to show up at TPE together and show out strong and have fun and meet everybody that we can. So if you guys are out there, by all means, hit us up. Let us know. We'd love to meet you guys, shake hands, do whatever. But I'm excited for what the future has to hold for us.
Yes, sir.
All right. Any final thoughts, TPE wise? Anybody you want to give a shout out to? Anybody you want to highlight? Any booth you went to?
There's too many to actually list and name. I tried to tag as many as I could in my first Instagram post. In the first Instagram post for TPE, pretty sure I missed a lot of people. But whoever's listening, if you decide to actually pick it up and listen, because we feature your cigars on our show anyway. Much love, lots of respect for everyone in the industry, and I thank everyone that was involved. And I look forward to TPE next year. Hopefully you can actually come out.
Oh, I will make it happen. Already on the books to come out.
Perfect.
So, all right. Until next time, this has been a wonderful sidebar edition with the TPE. And remember, again, guys, if you guys hear of this stuff happening, like the stuff happening in California, write to their state Senate leadership, their House of Representatives. Even if you don't live in the state, it never hurts to write a letter or sign a petition. Just because you're like, hey, I'm in Montana or Oklahoma or wherever, and you're like, hey, this isn't going to affect me. You never know what your state leadership has cooking. If they're watching what's happening in California, and they're going to see if they can't pass something similar in your state. So just because it's happening in California and you live in a different state does not mean that it's not going to happen to you.
Correct. I mean, I really don't want this bill to pass. So don't take this laying down.
No, not at all. But until next time, my name is Austin.
And I'm Dice.
And we will catch you guys on the next episode.
All right.
Thank you for listening to Leadership of the Leaf. The comments and opinions expressed by the host and guests does not reflect the opinions of those that broadcast this show, nor does it reflect any of our affiliates.
Don't forget, we need to follow the podcast so we know when new episodes drop.